Hey guys, so today I want to make a little intro for this doll video. I'm making a Trisha Paytas doll, yay! Okay, so I really wanted to make a doll of her because I love her, you know, she inspires me, I love the whole everything about her. She encouraged me to have better body image positivity, and so I wanted to make a doll of her. Plus a lot of some of my viewers said they wanted to see that also, so yay, when things line up it works. So anyway, this is how I made my Trisha Paytas doll, and if Trisha happens to ever see this, I love you so much, and I'm going to try to find a way to send this doll to you when I have the monies. Okay, well, here's the video, guys. Hope you like it. Bye! Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm starting off with a curvy Barbie, and I'm going to switch her head with a Ever After High doll. That way I can kind of make a beautiful, curvy, body positive doll. I'm pulling off all of her little accessories, obviously, and then, you know, I popped her head off and just start plunking away at cleaning everything off. Pop her head back on, and then all of a sudden I have this doll that is like a curvy Monster High doll, and I love it. She looks so cute and different, and something you don't see every day. So this is why it's fun with body mods, because you can change the heads and it's different. Because not everyone looks like a Monster High doll, you know. Anyway, so then I took 100% acetone and I started cleaning off her little face and the factory paint. It's always very important. I then took some dull coat matte spray and sprayed her down. That way I could blush the body properly. I don't use Mr. Super Clear because I can't find it, but the dull coat that I get from a normal, like, you know, regular places was just fine. I blushed her body with some color before, and I didn't like it. It was too pale, so I went back through with a darker tan shade to make her look like she has like a nice little sun-kissed tan, because I just wanted to look more like Trish, you know, because I feel like Trish always has a very nice tan. So that's what I'm doing now. And it took a while to get the proper shade, but I ended up getting this very, you know, summery sun-kissed look. Okay, I then went over with some black and I did the eyeliner and the eyelashes, and then I went through and I did the whites. I mixed up some light blue because her eyes are a beautiful shade of blue, and I didn't have that shade. So first I did a dark ring around the inside, and then I did a light blue on the inside so that it kind of faded out. Then I hit the black in the middle, and I added the eye shines, the best part. I took some metallic gold, and I went through and I did her eye makeup. Then I added her little eyebrows and did a beautiful pink shade on her lips with some white in the inside to emulate teeth, because she's very happy and always smiling. So this is where it gets a little weird. I use some metallic colors and some other shades to go over and do the makeup. She ends up looking very highlighted, which is what I was going for, but it took me a lot, so just a little confusing here. But yeah, I use some metallic paints, and I kind of brush over them with my brushes and hands to kind of make it smooth. So she ends up looking like she has a nice highlight, which is exciting. Anyway, so here's my Trish doll. It wasn't as long just because I didn't have to reroute the hair. Here's the doll. I hope you guys like her. She was a lot of fun to make. I hope I can send this to Trish soon, and I hope she likes it. Also, the outfit was just a Barbie outfit. It worked because I feel like Trish already wears clothes that look very Barbie-esque, you know, very pinks and sparkly and exciting. Also added some Dracula shoes and a little pink purse, just to keep that whole beautiful pink little look together. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and as always, today is not like yesterday. Awkward silence. Bye. Hey Nation, what goes on? It's Jay with IRN. Today I am making a tan France doll from Netflix's Queer Eye. Okay, so I was inspired when I saw this doll. It's a one of the, I think this, like the petite male Ken dolls. I'm not sure what they're called. Anyway, I start off by cleaning his face with acetone, taking clothes off, and then spraying him down with some matte dull coat spray. I really wanted to start off with the hair because I feel like Tan's hair is the most important part of him. So I based it out with a like a kind of a light gray, just something to kind of give it a base. So, I mean, the style was already there, so I didn't really have to sculpt or anything. But this doll is actually really an easy one I did. It's a lot of pretty much just repaint. But yeah, so I made sure for the first layer out to really get in each detail and crevice. I didn't want to go on too thick though, because I really wanted to keep the same, you know, I wanted to keep it like getting in the sculpt so you can tell it was hair and not just like a helmet or something. So I feel like that's important. A lot of people just put a lot of paint on it and it just kind of dries weird. Anyway, then I watered down some black acrylic paint, and I went through and I did the roots to make it look a little more natural, a little more real. Not that I'm saying he has bad roots. I'm just saying that that's how hair works, is that it's darker from light to bottom normally. So I'm trying to keep it as authentic as possible. So it has a nice little wash over it. This is what it looks like with the wash and the roots, and it's already looking better than it did with factory paint. So anyway, then I took some acrylics. I think the term is pearl. I think it's called pearl. And I went through and I just detailed it. Kind of did a light dry brush over it just to make it really pop and look a little shiny and look real pretty. I did have to go over with the gray again because it looked a little too shiny, a little too robotic. By the end of it, it gives a nice kind of shiny, beautiful, fresh looking hair. I don't know. This one, I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. It was just fun to make. I touched up the roots one more time, and then we got this nice kind of gray, hair. So I don't know. I like him. I think he turned out pretty cute so far with the hair, at least. I have a photo of him right next to me while I paint the face. I went through and did the eyebrows, spacing them out appropriately, which is one of the hardest things, I swear. Is eyebrows are so difficult. Anyway, so yeah, his eyebrows are thicker from the near his eye to the farther, from all the way out. So I had to kind of go from thick to thin. So that was a little troublesome, but we got there sooner or later. And then I painted his black eyelashes on first. I did eyelashes first. And after that's done, I went with a little bit of dark brown in the middle for the color of his eye, and then I filled it in the black part of his eye. And then I added the whites on the eyes, and I added the shine. I was trying to be a little more efficient for this one, and only have to get the brush out once for each color. So I don't know. I'm rambling today. Sorry guys. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so once that was done, I mixed up a pale pink and tan color, and I kept kind of mixing with it until it looked like the color in the photo I have of him. I added a little red just to make it look more real, because before it looked very chapped, not healthy. Anyway, so this is the finished product with tan. I did blush him, but I lost the footage for that. I just brushed it with a bronzer. This is the outfit I found for it. It was some Ken clothes, but I felt like it's stuff you'd wear, floral printed, some skinny jeans, and a jacket. Anyway, so this is the finished project. Hope you guys like him. He was a lot of fun to make. I really did enjoy this one. And if Tan ever sees this, hi Tan, I love you. Also, the doll's shirt is French tucked, because you can't see because of the jacket, but it is, because come on, it has to be. Anyway, guys, this was a lot of fun. If you want to see any more of the Queer Eye guys, let me know. I kind of want to make a Jonathan, but I'm having the worst time finding a Ken doll that will allow me to have beautiful long hair. So I might just stick with just doing Tan for now. And if I ever find the rest of the dolls, I'll probably do them. I'll consider doing them. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Again, sorry for rambling. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Today's Not Like Yesterday. Bye! So for today's doll video, I'm making one of my favorite YouTubers in the whole world, and that's Graveyard Girl. I love her. I first saw her on one of those little YouTube ads, and from that moment on, I've been obsessed. I loved her videos where she opened the 90s box, and it was horrible, and she did a whole saga about it, and I watched along with her. I laughed, I cried. It was so great. And so I had to make her a doll. And like with my Shane Dawson doll, I do plan to send it to her at some point when I have the expendable funds to ship things. So I am making plans to send this doll to her. I'm very proud of this doll. I hope you guys also will like this doll. It was a lot of fun to make, and it's funny if you happen to see this. I love you, you're amazing, and I hope you like this piece of art I made in honor of you. Okay guys, let's get to the video. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We got a Draculaura doll. What I'm going to start doing first is cutting as close as I can to the hair to kind of get to the roots and cut it out and clean the hair off, because her hair might be beautiful, but not for this project. Cut those bangs off. They were very hard and very gross. So I'm using my scissors, and then I got this little bald doll. Just got it as close as I could possibly get. This is important so that when we start pulling the plugs, they come off easier. So gently pull off the head, and by gently mean do it at your own speed. It gets forceful, but do it as gently as possible. You can heat it up with hot water. I just normally am careful, but it's up to you. There we go. Now we got the little peg. Everything's intact. Everything's fine. I've started taking a flathead screwdriver to scrape out the insides of the doll's hair. You can use tweezers or whatever you have that would get in there and pull the plugs out. It's very satisfying. I do use tweezers to pull it out afterwards because I like to be clean inside, because I will be rerooting this hair with a doll hair needle. So it's important to have it cleaned out on the inside. It takes forever. It gets gicky and gross, and it's sticky, and I don't like it. But it's important since we are rerooting this doll's hair. I felt like the Draculaura face just worked for Graveyard Girl. I just feel like it had a nice shape. I'm now using 100% acetone nail polish remover and some tissues to clean off both the head and the face because I don't want that factory paint on this doll. I want my paint on this doll. I do love taking off. It comes off so nicely, and it's just, I mean, you can use regular nail polish, but 100% acetone just comes off a lot faster. Of course, don't get this on the plastic body because it will melt the plastic. Anyway, I'm taking some pale blondish color. This is the closest color I could find for blonde in yarn. It's like a thick, loose acrylic yarn. I peeled it all apart so it was kind of these nice thin threads. And then with my big doll needle, I will be threading this hair into the vinyl head. Be careful because the needles can sometimes break it. Just essentially, thread it through like you would you're going to sew like that, and then just tie a knot, pull the needle through, and then you just pull it out like that. All you gotta do then is just cut the ends, and then you got yourself some hair. And do this a million times. I did start wetting down the yarn because it was easier to thread that way. A lot less craziness that way. Keeps it just nice and neat, which is really important because threading hair is a messy project. Anyway, this is what I got for her right now. I only did the outskirts because I wanted to do her hair up in her messy bun. That's my favorite videos with her. Of course, the video surprisingly does take a turn and goes for a little more of an updo, a little more of the glam version of Graveyard Girl. But anyway, it's for an up hairdo. I'm leaving the insides out so it sits flat and looks nice and neat. Otherwise, I'd go through and do all of the plugs. Took some black thread, did the same thing, black yarn, sorry, and I did the same for some of her black highlights. Because, I feel like that's kind of iconic to her look, and it's important, so you know that it's Graveyard Girl. I just did that on the inside so I could have them peeking out but not be too predominant. I'm doing this all just on the basis of I want it to be in a bun. Because, again, my favorite time is when she has her hair in a bun. She's just living her best life. Anyway, so it looks something like this. And I like it. I do later on pull the black a little more apart so it looks a little more natural. Right now it looks a little yarnish. I took one of my contouring kits. I took I think like a dark tan and started going over it. I forgot this part. I didn't film it. Sorry guys. I put some matte varnish over her first so it'd stick to something. And then I just started blushing the body so that she looks more human and less pink because Draculaura is a very pink doll. And I noticed it's nice, and she does a little bit of a highlight because she does makeup. She's a makeup guru, so she needs highlight. I took some my zero brush and I started using black acrylic paint to do her eyelashes because I started off with the eyelashes first because I feel like that's the most important part of Bunny's face is her beautiful eyelashes. So I went a little backwards on this. I started on the outer edges of the eye, went inwards. I took some white acrylic paint and started doing the whites of her eyes. Again, backwards, but it was fun. It was something different. It was a new way to paint this doll. I did have a photo of her right next to me, and I tried to keep the eyes as close to her actual eye shape as possible. I went around the edges of the white where I'm putting the blue in her eyes. I did a dark blue and then a light blue, all while it was still wet, so I kind of fade it together just to keep the paints looking like it kind of, gradient. I then added the black in the eye and then a little cleaning up around there. And then the best part, I added the white to the eyes. Yay! It makes them look so much more alive. So I was really proud of how this part started going. I took the eyebrows and I had a photo and I took a light brown, as close as I could find to like a normal human blondish color. And then I took a little bit of gold metallic paint and went through and gave it some little eyebrow highlights. I then took a dark, deep red and did the shape of her lips. Trying to copy as close to her makeup style as possible because that's important. I then took some small rubber bands and I did her hair up. Like I said, I was going to do the messy bun, and then I saw some photos of one for updos, and this was just too close and too perfect. I had to do it. Right here I'm pulling apart the black so it integrates nicely with the whole do. It looks good. I found these little Monster High outfits that look so much like her. I had to go with a glam version of Graveyard Girl. Everything just looked too much like something she'd wear. I also found this crazy jacket that I swear, if it was adult size, like human size, she would have worn it in real life. So anyway, here's the finished product. I'm very proud of this doll. I hope Bunny likes it. I hope it does justice to the Swamp family. It was a lot of fun to make, and I'm proud of this one. Because I feel like it's something that she deserves a Monster High doll. If anybody deserves a Monster High doll, it's Graveyard Girl. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And keep an eye out for what else I'm making. Also, if you want to leave a comment down below about who else you'd like to see, YouTubers and whatnot, let me know. Next one I'm thinking about doing is Trisha Paytas. I think that's how you say her last name. I know it is, but I'm awkward. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please have a great day and be good to each other or whatever. And awkward silence. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to leave a comment down below telling me what you would like to start seeing in these videos. Also, if you want to join our Nation of iRandomness, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to get all of our notifications, please hit the little bell icon. Also, we make new videos every Tuesday, Thursdays, and sometimes on Fridays. And if you want to see any of our old content, check here and here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Remember, today is not like yesterday. Bye! Come on, click it. Click it. Hey Nation, what goes on? It's Jay with IRN. So today I am making a custom doll of Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I will be using 2 dolls for this, one Ken and one Barbie. I will be cutting them both at the knees and switching their legs. That way Frankenfurter can wear some heels because Ken doll's feet don't fit in Barbie doll heels. I just did that. I attached it with some epoxy and some glue, and bing bang boom, we got ourselves some legs. He's got teeny little feet. So what I did next is I took the same kind of epoxy sculpt and I started sculpting the hair. This one I didn't really want to do real hair, so I just wanted to, plastic, whatever. So yeah, I just sculpted it on, that way I could get the duo I really wanted, so he has the iconic Tim Curry look. And I did use some of the epoxy and kept going over the legs until they looked smoother and looked more like flawless legs. So anyway, so after that was done, I went over it all with a pale tan color, I believe it was, and I watered it down, and I did about 3 or 4 layers, I think, of this, until it was a nice smooth tone for the skin. Obviously paying a little more attention to the knees because they are gray and the other compared to the doll's natural skin color. But yeah, this is a much cleaner and better technique for skin. That way it's smoother. The more watered down and more layers you do, the smoother it looks. So compared to if you just go straight on with the paint. Anyway, after that I took some black acrylic paint and started painting the hair. Being very careful of the hairline because I didn't want to get it on the skin, especially because the skin took so long to do. But yeah, once I took a small brush and definitely got the hairline first, and then I went in further in, just painting it black. Make sure I got each curl individually and tried to keep it looking close to what the real hair color looks like. But yeah, then yeah, this one was hard just because I really wanted to get those details in there. And I didn't want there to be any gaps. After that, I then mixed some red together and some white. Well, first I did the white. I painted the whites of the eyes and the teeth, and then I went over with some red and I painted the lipstick because you gotta have that lipstick or you're Frankenfurter. As a drag queen, I love Frankenfurter, so this doll I was very particular about. I took, I think, my zero brush and I started going through and doing the lips. That way I could really get the line the way I wanted to. I then took some black and started doing the eye makeup and the eyebrows and all that good stuff. Doing the eyelashes first and then going back through and doing the color of the eye. I kept it all black just for a dark kind of look. I had a photo nearby of what his eyebrows actually look like. I had one slightly arched, and then I went through and I put some whites in the eyes to add the shine. Again, having a photo next to me the whole time of what he really looks like just to keep it accurate. Anyway, after that, I then started painting his tattoo. I have a photo off to my left of what it looked like. It was a, oh sorry, it's a little off camera for this. It was a heart that had a little arrow through it and it says boss above it. I never actually knew that. I just had to look it up this time. Oh, I'm so off camera. Sorry, guys. And then I took some of my soft pastels and started blushing the cheeks and going through and just blushing certain things to really amp up the Frankenfurterness of this beautiful, beautiful character. But yeah, so with chalk pastels, just, go back and forth, keep, kind of brushing it off so it looks nice. I did touch up the lips a few times just to keep it going, make it look proper. Okay, so I was originally going to do some fishnets, but I couldn't find the material I wanted, nor could I get them to really sew the way I wanted them to, so I just painted the legs like they're some fishnets. Well, not really fishnets, more just tights. So my idea was I took some of the tan that I used for the skin, and I mixed it with a gray until it was kind of like a faded gray, and I put very little paint on it on the brush and just started kind of going at it until it looks the right color I wanted. It was hard because I kept not painting them long enough. They look more like socks, so I had to keep touching it up until it was the proper length of the real character. I then did the same thing for the fingerless gloves. This part I knew I was going to have to do with paint because there was no way I was going to be able to sew those little fingers, like little finger holes, properly. So I just took some black acrylic paint and painted it accordingly to what the costume looks like. After all the paint's done, I do go through and add some material just to make it look a little more real, a little less like paint. But yeah, so like I said, I took some ribbon and I went through and I painted and I glued it around the edges of the sock of the fishnets, and same with the gloves. That way it really looks like they're material and they're not just paint. I don't know, just a weird little touch I decided to go for. I do have some faux leather, and that's how I made his little outfit, and I made a little necklace. As of right now, I am not a clothing channel, but one day I might get to it. I also added a pair of little black heels, and boom, the Star of Frankenfurter. Adding a few details here and there. Anyway, I hope you guys liked him. He was a lot of fun to make, and gotta love Rocky Horror. Well, I hope you guys had a good October, and happy Scary October. I hope you enjoyed these videos of these dolls. If you guys have any suggestions of what you want to see from here on in the future, let me know in the comments down below. I will see if I can get around to it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please remember today is not like yesterday. Have a great day, and as always, awkward silence. Bye! Hey humans, what goes on? It's Jay with IRN. So today I am making a new doll video. One of my viewers, Andy the Random Human, suggested I start making YouTuber dolls. I said the only way I would do it is if I started off with my favorite, who is Shane Dawson. Everyone quickly agreed that we all wanted to see a Shane doll. So this is how I made my Shane Dawson doll. I hope you guys like it. Also, once I can afford to and have a little extra money to do shipping, I'm hopefully going to find Shane's P.O. box number for fan mail and send him the doll. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that. Anyway, here's how I made the doll video. Hey, okay, so here's the doll I started off with. It is a male Mycene doll from back in the early 2000s. I found it at a Goodwill. He looked a little bit rough, but I knew I had to have him because I've never customized one of these before. He did have some sort of weird hot glue substance on his hand. I don't know what the person who had him before did with it, but it definitely needed some help. So I boiled some hot water and I put the hand in to melt the glue down. And I submerged it in there for probably a good minute or so. And then afterwards it peeled off pretty easily and now it looks like a normal hand. Yay! Anyway, so then I took the same kind of hot water idea, popped the whole doll in because I need to pop the head off so I can get the hair out. I am rerouting for this doll, so this doll takes a lot longer. Anyway, so his head popped off after some maneuvering and pulling. But anyway, so what I did next is I cut the hair on the top of the head as short as I possibly could. Male dolls are harder because they have the long neck hole compared to Monster High girl dolls where you can just kind of stick the tweezers right in. So this one was a bit of a struggle for me, so I did keep the hot water with me just to keep kind of cool, heating the head up so I could get the tweezers in. After a while, I did get all the plugs out, but it did take a while. I don't know if I did it all on camera, though, I don't think, because it did start getting a little too much for me. Anyway, so then after that, I took some 100% acetone and a little napkin and started wiping off the hair, and the painted hair, and some of the peach fuzz they had on there, because it had an undercut feel. So a lot of scrubbing. I finally got it all off. I also took the face off like I normally do. So yeah, gotta love that acetone. Make sure it's 100% acetone. Regular nail polish remover doesn't always work. I mean, it does for some people, just not me. Anyway, so once he's all nice and clean, we can move forward. Anyway, so this is what he looks like without his factory paint on. Already getting somewhere with it. Very excited. Okay, so I found this brownish, yarn. It's very thick. I think it's acrylic yarn. I had to peel off the colors I wanted because I like this kind of reddish brown they had in there, and I didn't want this gray color. So I ended up having a bunch of extra, yarn for another time. Anyway, so this is kind of what I ended up getting with. I'm only using part of it for the Shane doll. Some of it's too dark and too white. But I have a good majority here. This one I did take a needle, one of my doll needles, and I wet the hair down, and then I threaded it through the needle, and then just started poking it through the head. I don't have a rerouting tool, nor do I really like the idea of using glue. I prefer doing it this way because I know it's safer. Like, not safer. I know for sure, like, it's not going to come out. So one of these I will get into gluing and rerouting, but this is the way I do it. It takes forever though, so I would suggest looking up other people who have rerouting tools. Anyway, so when he's done, he has this gorgeous mane of hair, way too much hair. Don't worry, by the end of it I will be cutting it, of course, because this makes no sense. But I'm leaving it like this just so I have something to hold on to when I'm painting and whatnot. I pulled it back in a tight ponytail, and now it's time to put the head back on the body, so I'm more to hold on to. Anyway, I heated the neck hole again. Try not to get the hair too wet, just because I didn't want to deal with all that. And then after he's been warmed up a little bit, we got to pop the head right back on. Again, male dolls are weird. Their neck holes are real confusing. Anyway, after a while, I got him back on. Yay! I didn't ruin it all. Anyway, I don't know if I like his hair. Giving Mary Pebbles from Flintstones. Anyway, so next what I do is I start to go around and paint the edges of the hair because it didn't actually have holes for it. Because the original doll had like the undercut, so I just painted in, sideburns and like the rest of where the hair should be, just to make it look a little more like a human, not like a weird doll. So I had a reference photo of Shane with where his sideburns went and everything. I then also took a small brush and started kind of spackling on facial hair because I wanted to be kind of scruffy to emulate Shane's real facial hair. This was one of the hardest, weirdest things because it had to just be very random. You can't do it in any uniform order, so I just had to keep kind of hitting it with the brush and smearing on and off and so on and so forth. After a while I did get the effect that it looked scruffy. I then took some brown and did some eyebrows for him. Again, there's reference photo. I try to keep it as accurate to the real photo as the face mold will let me. I then took brown and started kind of pasting out where I want the eyes. I'm using all acrylic on this one because I still can't figure out my watercolored pencils. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep it as realistic to the photo. I then went in and did some smaller lines under to kind of add some, just a few kind of touches to add some authenticity. Then it's time to start filling in the whites of the eyes, leaving a hole for where I'm going to kind of put the iris. Is that the word? I don't know. I need to learn anatomy words. But anyway, I'm going to leave the spot where I'm going to paint his eyes. I didn't realize that Shane has blue eyes. This whole time, I never knew that. I mean, I think they're bluish green. I don't know. Either way, I kind of, as many photos as I could find, he looked like he had blue eyes, I'm assuming. I went in with a dark blue around the edges and then a light blue on the inside, kind of making it fade, because I wanted to keep it kind of looking like a real human eye. And then I went over with some black and added some eyelashes, and then the little black part of the eye. And then the best part, the shine. Yay, now he looks alive and real. Anyway, I had to keep going in and touching up the facial hair, and just little things here and there, just make sure everything's even and look right, and I'm a weird perfectionist, so I just keep touching stuff. I mixed up some pink and reds to kind of add a little lip color. I didn't want it to go too bright because it's not lipstick. It's just like a guy's lips, which is one of the harder things. Like girls, it's easy. You can just put on some lipstick and it's ready to go. But like for boys, it's got to be like natural. Anyway, I then took some of my matte spray. It is not Mr. Super Clear because I cannot afford it. But this is pretty much the alternative. I can get it at most stores. It's like $10. It's what I normally use. It takes 24 hours to cure, but then it's good. Anyway, here's my part I was so nervous about was styling the hair. I just took some some hair clay, I guess is the proper term. I don't know. I don't do hair. And a comb and just combed it all through there. Now I had to cut it all down. It's very fluffy hair. So I took my big left-handed scissors and started cutting off his hair. Anyway, I got a nice shape to start off with, and the video didn't finish it, but this is pretty much what I went for. Of course, I keep styling every time I touch it, so it's always. Anyway, I got some of these labels that you can print up stuff on and put them on for like shirts. I cut it out. I made his little pig shirt logo. I recopied it. It's not the same one because I was worried about copyright, so I made my own rendition. It's very close. Anyway, I put on a little shirt, and that's the Shane Dawson pig shirt. Anyway, here you guys go. I'm very excited for you to see this. He is finished. This is my Shane Dawson doll. I'm actually very proud of this doll. I like it a lot. The hair is very fluffy, and I'm still working on my hair tutorials, but it's a doll version of him. It's the best I can get to it. Anyway, I hope you guys like him. He's a lot of fun to make, and I hope that if Shane sees this, he likes it. Like I said, I'm going to try to find a fan mail address and send it to him. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, today is not like yesterday. Woohoo! Anyway, okay, have a good day, you guys. Awkward silence. Bye!